Christmas Eve, and a biting wind swept through the city streets. Families hurried home, their arms full of presents, laughter echoing in the frosty air. But for one man, huddled in a thin coat at the corner of a busy intersection, there was no warm home waiting. His name was Arthur, and the cardboard sign beside him simply read, "Anything helps." People rushed past, their faces buried in scarves, their thoughts on festive dinners and crackling fireplaces. Arthur watched them, a quiet observer of a world he once belonged to. He didn't feel bitter, just a deep, hollow cold that had nothing to do with the weather. He remembered Christmases past the smell of pine needles, the warmth of his wife's hand in his, the joy on his daughter's face as she opened her gifts. Now, those were just ghosts of memories. As the sky darkened, a young girl, no older than 7, stopped in front of him. She was holding her father's hand tightly. "Daddy, he looks cold," she whispered, her voice full of genuine concern. Her father, a man in a smart suit, initially tried to pull her along, eager to get out of the cold, but his daughter stood firm, her big brown eyes fixed on Arthur. The father sighed, then knelt to his daughter's level. "You're right, sweetie. He does." He looked at Arthur, his expression shifting from hurried annoyance to something softer, more human. He reached into his wallet and pulled out a bill, placing it gently into Arthur's worn coffee cup. But it was what the little girl did next that truly warmed Arthur's soul. She tugged a small, brightly wrapped box from her coat pocket. It was clearly a gift she had received, or was meant to give. "This is for you," she said, her voice clear and sweet. "Merry Christmas." She placed the box in Arthur's trembling, gloved hand. Arthur was speechless. He looked from the girl to her father, who simply smiled and nodded. "Merry Christmas," the man said, before they continued on their way, disappearing into the crowd. Arthur sat there for a long moment, clutching the small box. It felt heavier than it should, filled with a warmth that spread through his entire body. Slowly, carefully, he unwrapped it. Inside was a pair of thick woolen mittens, hand-knitted and wonderfully soft. Tucked inside one of them was a chocolate bar. Tears welled up in Arthur's eyes, not from sadness, but from overwhelming gratitude. It wasn't about the money or the mittens. It was the fact that someone had seen him, really seen him. That little girl, with her pure heart, had reminded him that he was still a person, worthy of kindness and a moment of connection. That small act of generosity didn't magically solve all of Arthur's problems. He was still homeless. He still faced a long, cold night, but it gave him something far more valuable than a meal or a warm bed for the evening. It gave him hope. It reminded him of the goodness that exists in the world, even in the darkest of times. This story isn't just about Arthur. It's about all of us. It's a reminder that we have the power to change someone's world, even with the smallest gesture. A warm smile, a kind word, a pair of mittens. These things might seem insignificant to us, but to someone feeling invisible and alone, they can be a lifeline. This holiday season, and every day, let's try to be like that little girl. Let's look beyond our own busy lives and see the people around us. Let's choose compassion over indifference. You never know when your small act of kindness might be the one thing that helps someone else. Hold on. It's the greatest gift we can give. Thanks for watching. If this story touched you, please share it to spread the message. And don't forget to subscribe for more content that inspires.